Hello, my name is Keaton Bergeron, and I am going to be presenting on the Raft of the Medusa by Theodore Gericult. So some general information about the Raft of the Medusa. It's located in the Louvre Museum in Paris. The artist was Theodore Gericult. The movement was the Romanticism art movement. Um, time was it was painted 1818 to 1819, and the medium was an oil on canvas painting. One interesting fact about the medium in this case is that it was an extremely large painting, um, almost, not quite, but almost to a real life scale, where a person would be, how big a person is in real life. So that was an interesting fact about this. This is The Evening by Theodore Gericult. I'll come back to this later on when we talk about what Romanticism means, but this is another famous work by Theodore Gericult, and some things to notice about it are the nature being on the forefront, the trees and the scenery, the sky, and then the impactful emotions that it um, creates. So some context: at the time that this painting was made, neoclassicism still had a grip on France. The Romanticism movement was just beginning, and this piece, being the Raft of the Medusa, was on the forefront of that change. So I have included the Death of Socrates, a very famous painting in the neoclassical movement. The differences here: neoclassical movement had very traditional source material for what they were painting, less emphasis on emotion, less emphasis on nature, kind of just reproduced famous moments or famous stories from the past, um, try to bring those to light, put them in painting form. And with this piece, the Raft of the Medusa and others, especially Theodore Gericult, but a lot of other artists, moved the Romanticism movement into the forefront, especially in France. So the artist, Theodore Gericult was born in 1791 and died in 1824, and was a pioneer of the Romanticism movement in France. Another very famous piece of his work was The Evening, which is shown in the second slide. So yeah, that was what I was referencing earlier. But The Evening is a very famous work. So is this one. He has a few portraits that are famous work, but The Raft of Medusa was kind of his claim to fame, so to speak. And this is a portrait of him by Horace Vernet. Um, yeah, just trying to depicting what he looked like. Um, Artistic movement and Romanticism. So the Romanticism starting around 1800 was an art movement that affected all forms of artistic expression, from literature, painting, music, etc. The movement was characterized by being more focused on the individual, interested in the beauty and intensity of nature, and interested in emotions and feelings. Key artists of this movement were John Constable, Albert Bierstedt, and of course Theodore Gericult. This is another work by Theodore Gericult, Alfred Dudreau as a child. A little bit of a lengthy story on the subject matter. But basically, this was a contemporary event, happened in 1816. Um, a French Navy frigate crashed on its way to create the colonies in West Africa. So it was on its way to make colonies. It crashed. There was an unexperienced captain that was appointed by the king as a kind of a political favor. So that became a big political point that came out of this piece becoming so famous. But um, many the higher up officers were able to go on the lifeboats and be rescued, while 147 of the passengers had to be crowded hastily onto this very small raft. Hundreds died when they finally were rescued. Only 15 of them were rescued, and then 5 of them died before ever making it to shore. So some important moments. You can see the emotion uh, on most faces, but also the emotion of trying to flag down the ship, um, and the hopefulness that they might be rescued when it seems pretty bleak. What adds to this bleak tone is the chaotic and dark painting of nature around, which is a big point in Romanticism as a movement, and yeah, the overall tragedy and the contemporary subject matter. This was something that was happening right when he started um, sketching it and painting it, and brought to light a lot of what happened on that raft that the people did not know about. So that's my presentation on the raft of the Medusa. Thank you very much for listening. Here are my sources.